I made a typo during the lecture video, which is the most asked question on the discussion board is the 7th question. So the way that I set up the problem is wrong, but the solution is the same. So here I'm going to show you some in-depth steps on how to solve that problem. So again, we need to know how to set up the questions. Okay, so the catering company, so they know that they're making 3 sandwich. They have ham, light ham, veggie sandwich. We don't know the amount, so we can let ham has x, y, and let veggie equals to y numbers of veggie. Okay, so each sandwich they contain different amount of ham, cheese, bread, and the veggies. So based on the question, the way that we set up is the ham sandwich contains 4 ham, 1 slice of cheese, 2 slices of bread, and 1 serving of veggie. For light ham sandwich is 2 slices of ham, 1 cheese, 2 bread, 2 veggie. And then for veggie sandwiches, 0 of ham and 2 cheese and the 2 slices of bread and 3 portions of vegetable. But the total amount of ham, they tell you that is what? They have 10 bags of ham available and each one has 14 slices. So that means the total amount, let me write it here. So the total amount of ham should be 14 times 10, which is 400. And then for cheese is, they totally have, they also tell you that the next one they tell you is 18 loaves of bread are available and each with 14 slices. So bread, we have 18 times 14, which is 252. And veggie is totally 200 serving of veggie, and cheese is 15 bag of cheese with 60 slices per bag. So total is 900. So here's the setup of the questions. After that, let me close this up, and then we can set up our equation. So they ask you, hey, what will be the maximize, which is we can add the maximize sandwich. We can use S or use P or any number that you liked. Should be the number of ham plus the number of light ham plus veggie, right? And this is maximize function, and they're subjecting to the number of ham, because you only have how many number of ham? Well, you use 4x amount for the ham sandwich and use 2y amount to the light ham sandwich. So the total amount should be 4x plus 2y less than or equals to 400. Similarly, for the cheese, you have, you totally use x amount of cheese and one y amount of light ham and 2 times z slices of cheese. So the strict function should be x plus y plus 2z less than or equals to 900. So similarly for bread, so it should be 2x plus 2y plus 2z, which is less than 252. And then for veggie, we have x plus 2y plus 3z less than 200. All right, so here's the subject function. So how many actual variable we need to add? Since we totally have 4 functions, right? So that means we need to add 4 variables. I can call it at U1, U2, U3, and U4. You can name it anything that you want. You can use A, B, C, D. It doesn't matter. Okay, so the initial tableau should be we have x, y, z, u1, u2, u3, u4, p. Okay, so for x, for the first function, we have 4, 2, 0, because we want to add u1 for the first function, u2 for the second, u3 for the third, and u4 for the fourth function. So this should be 1, 0, 0, 0, and 400. And then for the second function, I have 1, 1, 2, 0, u2 is 1, and 900. The next one would be 2, 2, 2, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 200. Okay. Oh, 252, sorry. Alright, so the next one would be x equals to 1, y coefficient is 2, 3z, 0, 0, 0, and u4 is 1, p is 0, and then the total number would be 200. And then the last one would be the maximize function. So this one we need to subtract them. So I will have negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. P is equal to 1, and this one is 0. So in here, the first one is you need to find the pivot column. So here you need to find the lowest negative number, not the lowest, the largest negative number, which is the smallest number. So since these three are all the same, so that means you can pick anyone as your pivot column. So I am going to pick this one. It doesn't matter, you can pick 1, 2, 3 column. And now I need to use the ratio to find out our pivot row. So 400 divided by 4 equals to 100. 900 divided by 1, 900. 252 divided by 2 is 140. 126, sorry. 200 divided by 1 is 200. So our pivot row should be the first one. Okay, so now we have our pivot column. So this is our pivot element, the pivot point. So what we want to do is we want these to become positive 1, right? So that means the first row, I want every element from the first row divided by 4. So I have what? 1. After, let me use the black plan. After divided by 4, I have 1. 2 divided by 4 is 1/2. 0. 1/4. 0, 0, 0, 0, and 100. Okay, so the second row, I'm going to write it down. Okay, so now take a look. Remember, this is our pivot point. So I want everything in here, the first row, or the first column, I'm sorry, to become 0. What I need to do is, well, this is 1, that make it easier. So the second row, so the first row, I'm going to rewrite the first row into our second tableau. Or I can just erase it. Yeah, let's rewrite it. It's easier. So now look at the second. What do we want to? This is 1. This is also 1. So that means I want the second row should be R2 minus R1. Okay, so 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. Oops, sorry. 0. 1/2, 0, negative 1/4, 1, 0, 0, 0, and 800, right, after subtracting them. And now the third row, since this is 2, right, I want this to become 0. So that means I want the third row subtract 2 times first row. So I will have 0, 1, 2, negative 1/2, 0, oops. Let me use black pen, sorry. I will have okay. So for the fourth row, okay, this is also 1, so that means all I need to do is the fourth row minus the first row. In here, we will get what? 0. 2 minus 1/2 is negative 4/3. No, the fourth one should be positive 3/4, and this would be 3, negative 1/4. Yeah, 0, 0, 1, 0, and this is equals to 200 minus 100 is 100. Okay, so the last one should be what? Well, this is negative 1 and this is 1, so that means I want the fifth row add the first row to attend 0. So that 0, negative 1/2, negative 1, 1/4, 0, 0, 0, 1, and when you add them, you have 100. Alright, so the next part is we repeat what we done in here and find out our pivot column. Again, you find the smallest negative number, so should be here, right? And use the ratio to find, hey, which one gives you the smallest one. 100 divided by 0, it doesn't work because it's undefined. So this gives you 400. 52 divided by 2, you will have 26. And 100 divided by 3 is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So that means this is going to be our pivot. So that means this is going to be our pivot element, and we want to turn this become 1. So that means I want to divide everything by 2. Okay, so R1 remain the same, which is 1, 1/2, 0, 1/4. So remember, this is X, Y, Z, U1, U2, U3, U4, P. Okay, so R2, right now let's just write the same thing here. So for R3, I want everything divided by 2. 0 divided by 2, we got what? Or times 1/2. Either way. So we have 0, 1/2, 1, negative 1/4, 0, 1/2, 0, 0, 26. Okay, so R4 remain the same. R5 is going to be the same for now. Okay, so remember which is our pivot element, this one. So we want R1 to become 0. So R1 is already 0, so that means we don't need to do anything at all. We just leave it as it is. So now let's write it down. R1 is 1, 1/2. Okay, So R2, what transformation we want? So this is 2, this is 1. So what I want is R2 minus 2 times R1. So this is the row that we're going to get. So we end up to have 0, negative 1/2, 0, 1/4, 1, 0, 0, 0, and 748. So for the third row, that's our pivot row. We'll just write it down. That's the row that contains our pivot element. Okay, for the fourth row, here is 3, right? So that means I want R4 minus 3 times R3. So I have 0, negative 9/4, 0, 2/4, 0, negative 3/2, 1, 0, and 22. Okay. Okay, the last one is R5. R5 here is -1, and so I want R5 to become what? R5 plus R3, because then they can cancel each other. -1 add 1 is equal to 0. So here you will got 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0, -1, because 2/3 adds negative 3/2 add 1/2 is -1, and this is 1, 0, and this is become 126. Okay, so now we have everything that we need. So I'm going to record this. This is X, Y, Z, U1, U2, U3, U4, P, and that's the profit. So now, since these are all 0, they don't have any negative number now. That means we are done in here. So now let's look at which element, which variable they have a 1 as their coefficient. This one equals to 1. So that means X is going to equal to 100. And now the next one will be Z equals to 1. So that means Z is going to equal to 26. And our P, the final, would be 126. So that means when X equals to 100, Z equals to 26, since it didn't say anything about Y cannot be -1/2. So it has to be 1. So that means Y is equal to 0. And then we will reach the maximum quantity of sandwich, which is P equals to 126. So X is represent what? X represent the number of ham sandwich. Z represent the number of veggie sandwich. That means when we have 100 ham sandwich and we made 26 veggie sandwich, we will make the most sandwich out of the ingredient that we were given. Okay, so that's it for this example. Let me know if you have other questions.